There are several different reincarnations in terms of animated shows, movies, and media preferences of everybody's favorite web slinger, Spider-Man! And one of the best, possibly the greatest Spider-Man shows of all time is none other than the one and the only Spintacular Spider-Man. This is, yeah, that's right, fellow viewers of the internet. The Spintacular Spider-Man is today's Volcanic Review. And honestly, there is nothing bad, and I mean nothing bad, that I can say about this amazing series. No matter who I talk to and what website I look at it, it is listed as the #1 greatest Spider-Man TV show of all time. And it's easy to see why. Because, well, design... Okay, one negative, I guess, would be the design. The design of those freaking elbows. Those elbows are kind of weird. But other than the design, nothing's too bad. The design is iffy. But what makes it so great is that the characters are very well thought out, very well flushed out, and very relatable. And I mean very relatable. I related to Peter on so many levels during this entire incarnation of the show. All the fight scenes and the villains were spintacular. Ha! Get it? Spintacular. Anyway, I did get to meet a bunch of new villains that I never previously met when I watched this show. This show came out in 2008 and 2009. That would have been when I was 6, maybe 8 years old. I got to meet a bunch of new Spider-Man villains that I never actually met before, such as Kraven the Hunter over here. I never knew he existed until after watching the show. I also never knew that sweet, oh, so glorious, sweet black cat never existed until after I watched this show. All of the designs of the women, especially her, were great. But what the greatest part about the show are the characters. They were so well thought out, so well written, and so very relatable. And all the stories were just amazing. They did a very good job at trying to introduce a new, okay, that's cool. That's a cool picture. They did that in The Amazing Spider-Man. That's nice. Anyway. Oh, and the Sam Raimi trilogy. Okay, that's cool. Anyway. Yeah, it was so very, very cool, amazing. Everybody who you would talk to who will agree with me on this, that's cool again. Other than the design of the characters, the animation was very fluent and very cool. The fight scenes were amazing. I loved watching every single one of them. They did introduce a new villain each episode, with the exception of some recurring and returning villains in the form of the Sinister Six and whatnot. And all of the lines too were great. I know Spider-Man can be kind of cringy, but in this instance, he was not. He was well, spectacular. It's such a shame that this show got canceled early on after only 2 seasons with some corporate crap, because this show came out during the time Sony and This was during the time when that oh-so-evil mouse decided to buy up Marvel and break up the relationship between Marvel and Sony, getting rid of this amazing, spectacular show. Sorry, that was my rant, because Disney did no right to do that. They had no right to cancel this. Instead, they replaced it with Ultimate Spider-Man. Honestly, that show wasn't terrible, but this show was much, much better. And I really wish that they could just keep running this show, because it was amazing. They could have gone so great the creators of the show wanted to introduce some new villains into the mix, like Carnage and Hobgoblin and a bunch of others. The Carnage story would be very, very good because Venom in this movie was actually amazing. He was fantastic. Venom, he was... Wow, this was like the best I've ever seen him in his ever appearances. He was very vengeful and evil and twisted in this sort of way because he was specifically targeting the loved ones closest to Peter and trying to kill them in front of his face. He doesn't want to kill Spider-Man, he just wants to ruin his life. So, the Venom in this version was amazing. I loved him so much. But anyway, back to Carnage. So, that would have been a very great story, watching practically two arch enemies come together and join forces to stop the evil offspring of Venom. Because Carnage is sick and twisted as a character as a whole, and since Venom was sick and twisted in this reincarnation of him, that would have been amazing. I would have loved to see that. Especially, yeah, see, check that out. This is some concept art. It would have been great to see that. Such a shame that they didn't do that and it ended early. And I'm very disappointed, as well as everyone else. Many want the show to come back for obvious reasons. And all the characters got like their own... Each character got their own story alongside Peter's story. The entire show is Peter growing as an individual, as most shows about heroes are. But many other characters had a growth arc, such as Flash Thompson in this show. He actually had a character arc and a grow arc. So, Flash Thompson was amazing in this show, because he started out as the basic bully, but then he decided to change his life around after he met this weird Chinese lady chick that he got attracted to for some reason. I don't know, that was a bit weird, but... And all of the other characters, this show is a simp paradise and a shipping paradise, because Peter has so many love interests. All three of his love interests follow into the show. Peter ends up hooking up with Liz Allen. I really like Liz Allen in this reincarnation of this show. She was great. And she and Peter were great as a couple. But then he ended up breaking up with Liz Allen to go on with Gwen, who those two actually liked each other since the beginning of time. But then turns out that she ended up dating Harry after the Green Goblin died. And Harry ended up scamming her into staying with him. Yeah, it was a whole thing he had to deal with. The design of the lizard was actually great. But yeah, there were like so many different shipping and simping opportunities in there. And all of his friends, not just Harry. There were so many, like Gwen was actually like one of his best friends. She's like practically just a female version of him in this reincarnation. The fight scene with Venom, especially in Peter's head and in his mind, was great. Venom was like practically invincible in this incarnation. And then the theme song was great. I mean, just look at this. Listen to this. This is a heavy metal remix of the song, of course, but the original theme song was so rad. They could have gone so much with this show. It would have been so great. Such a shame they had to end it, though, because it's some corporate junk. Yeah, see, here's the design of the lizard. He looks amazing. And each episode has a plot in Peter's personal life that he, like, messes up, then he ends up fixing it later on, and half of that has to do with Spider-Man as well. So that was great to see Peter and Spider-Man both balance their lives out very, very well and very easy. Let's see, what else could I say about this show? Yeah, there's really no bad way that a superhero show could go. This is actually ranked as one of the best superhero shows of all time, actually. So, and yeah, this could have just gone so better if they would have kept going. This is definitely a very great A+ God tier Spider-Man show. Definitely way better than the original, most people would say. And yeah, for a show that came out in the early 2000s, or actually mid-2000s technically, wasn't too terrible. Very, very great. All in all, a very good show, and I really wish they could have kept going on with it, but all good things have to come to an end, of course. But yeah, definitely see the show for yourself. Like, all the episodes, they only had 63 episodes in total, which was a shame. But definitely go see it for yourself. It's on Netflix, I think. So, and with that, we end. So, see you guys later, fellow viewers of the internet. Goodbye, my peanut butter and jellyfishes.